NSFW, what's something unexpected you've experienced a partner do in bed, in a misguided attempt to spice things up? I had a hookup who was really into softcore BDSM, which was nice. He was a nerdy guy. Totally my type. He asked me if I wanted him to put any music on and I said sure. He wound up putting on 8-bit Final Fantasy music. You know what? That was pretty weird. Tried to do a naughty teacher roleplay, but they, an honor roll student, were affronted by the idea of detention. Not in bed, but my friend told me that her and her boyfriend were making out in their car, and in an effort to try and spice things up she tried to get on top of him while he was in the driver's seat. She sat on the horn and scared herself shitless. I've had some rough sex in my day. That's all fine and dandy. But never in the history of can we try getting a little rough, followed by a cute wink. Has anyone expected to be subsequently open hand slapped super hard in the face? Please ask your partners if it's okay to slap them in bed before you slap them. Unexpected slap to the face is no good. Chick tried to suck my ball as if she were trying to suck a walnut through a straw. Most excruciating feeling ever. Slapped me full in the face while I was on top of her. I was startled. Of course. I was more startled when, without skipping a beat, she exclaimed, breathless and still in the throes of passion, "I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else for a second." Porn star style gauging on my dong. Was dry heaving in between gasps for breath. Vomit burns the urethra. He flapped the blanket like it was a pair of wings and screamed, "I'm a pterodactyl." This was totally unintentional. And definitely was not meant to spice things up, but it ended up being this way. My partner and I were hanging out at home one night. Making dinner. Watching TV. etc. Fast forward to the bedroom. I start feeling some general discomfort down there. And all of a sudden, severe pain. Turns out, he hadn't washed his hands properly after chopping bird's eye chili peppers. Definitely didn't need that kind of spice in my life. During love making with my girlfriend back in the day, she thought it would be cute and a little hot to give me a playful bite on the cheek. She severely underestimated how hard she was biting. I screamed out, which scared her. And her unconscious reflex to the scare was to clamp her jaw tighter. Broke the skin and drew blood. But we've been married 12 years now. So. But no more biting. Many years ago my then GF wanted to spice things up with some massage oil. I was okay with it. Seemed pretty tame. So she gave me a full body massage. Which was nice. What I didn't realize was that her massage oil had glitter in it. I woke up late and dashed off to work without a shower. I was a cable TV tech then, and the whole staff fell over laughing the instant I walked into the break room. I had colorful sparklies all over my face and arms. I rushed off to the bathroom and washed up in the disgusting little sink. Played careless whisperer when we were getting saucy. Ended up giggling because it was so cheesy. First time my wife and I hooked up. She tried shoving a finger up my butt because of some bad advice from a friend. He bit my nipple with such, pretty sure unintentional, force he made it bleed. After he came, cause I didn't. He then picked up a banjo from under his bed and began serenading me. Naked. All I could think of was how he was going to need to diddle the back of the banjo after. I didn't see him again. Although ironically the lack of keenness was mutual, I wonder if was meant to have been more impressed by his prowess. Pop rocks. Cosmo. If I ever win the pottery, you will be bought and repurposed into a space magazine. Terrible dirty talk. Accused me of trading sexual favors for corn dogs. This happened almost 10 years ago and I still give him hell for it. Haha. X was into the ear licking. Like full-on Men in Black 2 tentacle tongue duck. No thanks. My ex and I had a great sex life as we tried all kinds of things. However, we never did dirty talk. One time she wanted to give it a go. So she started. Ashish. Ashish. Ah baby. Ah baby. I stopped thinking I was hurting her. I asked. What? What did I do? She just sighed and said, never mind. After half a minute I figured out what happened. We laughed and continued the sex. We had a great habit of drunk sex. But I always had to pee in the middle of our romp. She would always half-heartedly throw a fit. And I always threatened to pee in her. One night she tells me I can't. And even starts daring and teasing me. I peed in her. She's my wife now. I marked my turf. My parents and I like to watch sex sent me to the ER. And there are a lot of fun stories. One person tried using a melted gummy bear like candle wax. A few others used hot sauce like lube. An interesting story was a couple who decided to have sex through a door, where the handle would be, and wound up getting stuck. My ex tried fingering me, which was fine. Until he decided it would be hot to surprise me by switching from that to full-on fisting. I have never been in excruciating pain like that before and I wish it on no one. He bit my clit. Nothing has ever hurt so bad. He then proceeded to take my gasp of pain as one of pleasure and did it again. He bit me so hard I was bleeding. My wife is good at English, but it's not her first language. I had joked earlier that she should call me daddy. It was a joke. I'm not actually into that. That night, during sex, she called me father. It was weird. Me, white. Ex, black. Had a crazy sex life. One day she asked me to tell her to put a little end into it while in the act. I did. She farted right after. That was the end of that role play. It was the day before Thanksgiving. And I had some leftover ingredients from the Reese's pie we had made for tomorrow's feast. Thought we'd have some fun with peanut butter and whipped cream with the nether regions. Spent the next day in the ER with a raging bladder infection. No mashed potatoes were consumed that day. Sad face. She said verbatim in a little girl voice, "Oh daddy, are you going to cum for me? Tweety please daddy. Make me cum." I stopped in mid-thrust. There was no continuing after that. I had sex with a German guy and he kept calling me a Sal, German for Sal, which might have been intended as a compliment in that specific context, like you're dirty, but it was super off-putting and kind of awkwardly hilarious. My girlfriend, F18, and I, M19, were gonna have sex and we always go raw. No condoms. No birth control. My pull-out game is strong. What she failed to tell me was that she went on birth control about a month prior. Anyways, that night we were gonna have sex and when I was about to cum as a prank she locked her legs and arms around me and held me inside her while I came inside her. I was freaking out and she still didn't let go, so I'm waving her around like a rag doll while she's laughing like a maniac. She let go and she said I'm gonna be a daddy and just smiled as I looked in horror. She told me the next morning we are safe and she's on birth control. She got me. Haha. Pranked. Had a hookup that apparently decided an impromptu toe sucking was on the menu. I don't like feet. Mine or others. Having a man suck my toes while I was bare-assed on his twin bed completely ruined the mood for me. But what made it worse was that he thought I'd want to return the favor and suck his toes. All I'm getting by reading these comments are that guys who aren't into butt stuff are getting it enthusiastically thrust upon them. Meanwhile I can't even get a kinky pinky in the stinky. Tried nipple play. But instead of gentle stuff, he literally turned into a vacuum and essentially tried removing my breasts with sheer willpower. Hurt so bad I reflexively hit him to get him off of me. Didn't learn the lesson and did the same thing while going down on me later. I looked to see what the duck he was doing and it was so gross looking it put me off of getting eaten out for a long time. Hit him that time too, cause guess what? Sucking actually hurts. Tried to do some role play as me being the older guy and her the young innocent. She's a fair bit older than me, so we thought it would be fun. Also, we had been dating for only a few months, so it was our first time trying to role play. We start in the bathroom and as I push her up on the sink she says, "Oh God." But I'm only a sophomore. Me, being an immature 19-year-old, couldn't pass up on the opportunity to quickly shout statutory rape. Eric Andre show reference, yeah. That ended the role play right there. Thankfully she just laughed it off and said she couldn't think of anything to say in the heat of the moment and was embarrassed. I guffawed and we continued our exploits without a hitch. We're 5 YRS in. Married and have a kid now, so you could say things worked out just fine. LMFAO.